Amy Foster stared at her alien roommate Zara, who was pacing around their small apartment like a caged animal. The blue-skinned woman had been acting strange for 3 days now, and Amy was starting to worry. Zara belonged to the Villani race known throughout the galaxy for their incredible beauty and deadly combat skills. They had joined the human colony on planet Kepler just 2 years ago, after their homeworld was destroyed by the ruthless Kree Empire. Amy had volunteered to share her living space when Zara first arrived. Most humans were too intimidated by the 7-foot-tall warrior woman, but Amy saw past the fierce exterior. She noticed how Zara would quietly tend to the small garden on their balcony, and how she always made sure Amy had eaten before taking food for herself. Now something was very wrong. Zara's normally silver eyes had turned a deep purple, and her skin seemed to glow with an inner light. She kept muttering in her native language while her long white hair swayed with each agitated movement. The emergency sirens suddenly blared across the colony. Amy rushed to the window and saw Kree warships descending from the sky. Their black hulls blocked out the sun as landing pods crashed into the streets below. Zara stopped pacing and her head snapped toward the window. Her enhanced hearing had picked up the distant sounds of battle before Amy even noticed. The purple in her eyes grew brighter as ancient instincts awakened within her. Amy grabbed the communication device, but the lines were dead. The Kree had cut off all contact with the outside world. They were trapped in their apartment on the 15th floor with nowhere to run. Zara moved to the weapon locker she kept hidden behind the kitchen panel. Her movements were fluid and predatory as she retrieved her plasma rifle and energy blades. Amy had never seen her roommate in full combat mode before, and it was both terrifying and magnificent. The building shook as explosions echoed from the lower floors. The Kree soldiers were working their way up through each level, killing anyone they found. Amy's heart pounded as she realized they had maybe 20 minutes before the enemy reached their door. That was when Zara did something completely unexpected. She turned to Amy with an expression of desperate vulnerability and spoke in perfect English despite her obvious distress. She explained that her people entered a biological state called the bonding cycle during times of extreme stress. It was an ancient survival mechanism that allowed Villani warriors to form deep connections with trusted allies. The process would enhance both their physical and mental abilities, but it required complete trust between partners. Amy felt her cheeks burn as she realized what Zara was asking. The bonding cycle was essentially a mating ritual that would link their minds and bodies together for the duration of the crisis. It would make them a formidable fighting team, but it also meant sharing the most intimate parts of themselves. The sound of plasma fire grew closer as Kree soldiers reached the 10th floor. Amy looked into Zara's glowing purple eyes and saw the fear hidden behind her warrior mask. Her alien roommate was scared not just of dying, but of facing this battle alone. Without hesitation, Amy reached out and took Zara's hand. The moment their skin touched, she felt a warm, tingling sensation spread up her arm. Zara's eyes widened in surprise at Amy's immediate acceptance. The bonding process began slowly at first, with gentle waves of energy passing between them. Amy could feel Zara's thoughts and emotions bleeding into her own consciousness. She experienced flashes of the alien woman's memories, her destroyed homeworld, the loss of her family, the loneliness of being the last of her kind. In return, Zara witnessed Amy's life through human eyes. She saw the compassion that drove Amy to volunteer at the refugee center, the quiet strength that helped her face each day, despite losing her parents in the war against the Kree. She felt the genuine care and affection Amy had developed for her over the past 2 years, as their minds merged more completely. Amy felt her own physical abilities beginning to change. Her reflexes became lightning fast and her senses sharpened to superhuman levels. She could hear the Kree soldiers calling to each other 5 floors below and smell the acrid smoke from their weapons. Zara's combat instincts flowed into Amy's consciousness along with knowledge of Villani fighting techniques that had been passed down for thousands of years. Amy understood without being told that she could now move and fight with the same deadly grace as her alien partner. The apartment door exploded inward, just as the bonding reached its peak. 3 Kree soldiers in black armor stormed through the smoking entrance, expecting to find helpless civilians. Instead, they faced something they had never encountered before. Amy and Zara moved as one perfectly synchronized unit. Amy rolled left while Zara leaped right, both firing their weapons with impossible accuracy. The first soldier fell before he could raise his rifle. The second managed one wild shot before Zara's energy blade found his throat. Third Kree warrior was larger and more experienced. He activated an energy shield and pressed forward, laying down covering fire. Amy felt Zara's tactical knowledge guide her as she flanked around the kitchen island. She could sense her partner's position without looking, and knew exactly when to strike. Together, they overwhelmed the soldier's defenses. Zara distracted him from the front, while Amy disabled his shield generator from behind. Their victory was swift and decisive, leaving the apartment littered with smoking Kree corpses, but their triumph was short-lived. The communication system crackled to life as more enemy forces reported the loss of the advance team. Soon, the entire building would be swarming with hostile soldiers, Amy felt. A surge of fierce protectiveness flowed through their mental link. Zara was no longer just her roommate, she was her bonded partner, and Amy would die before letting the Kree harm her. The intensity of the emotion surprised her but felt completely natural. They gathered weapons and supplies knowing they had to reach the colony's defense bunkers. The bonding had given them enhanced abilities, but they were still vastly outnumbered. Amy could feel Zara's determination burning like a flame in her mind. As they prepared to leave the apartment, Amy caught sight of herself in the mirror. Her brown eyes now held flecks of purple, and her skin had a faint luminescent quality. The physical changes were subtle, but she could feel the alien strength flowing through her muscles. Together they stepped into the hallway, ready to fight their way through an army of enemies. The bonding had transformed them from two individuals into something greater, a perfect fusion of human courage and Vellani warrior skill. The Kree Empire had made a fatal mistake when they decided to attack this colony. They had expected to face helpless humans and exiled refugees instead. They would discover what happened when human determination combined with alien power. Amy smiled grimly as she followed Zara toward the stairwell. Her quiet life as a colony administrator was over, but somehow she had never felt more alive. The woman she had grown to love was now literally part of her, and together they were unstoppable.